ॐ नमः शिवाय। ॐ नमः शिवाय। ॐ नमः शिवाय। ॐ नमः शिवाय।
ॐ श्री परमात्मने नमः। श्रीमद्
अथ पञ्चदशोऽध्यायः। श्रीभगवानुवाच ऊर्ध्वमूलमधः शाखम् अश्वत्थम् प्राहुरव्ययम् छन्दांसि यस्य पर्णानि यस्तं वेद स वेदवित्। अधश्चोर्ध्वं प्रसृतास्तस्य शाखाः गुणप्रवृद्धा विषयप्रवालाः। अधश्च मूलान्यनुसन्ततानि कर्मानुबन्धीनि मनुष्यलोके। न रूपमस्येह ततोपलभ्यते नान्तो न चादिर्न च सम्प्रतिष्ठा। अश्वत्थमेनं सुविरूढमूलम् असङ्गशस्त्रेण दृढेन चित्वा ततः पदं तत्परिमार्गितव्यम् यस्मिन् गता न निवर्तन्ति भूयः। तमेव चाद्यं पुरुषं प्रपद्ये यतः प्रवृत्तिः प्रसृता पुराणी। निर्मानमोहाजितसङ्गदोषाः अध्यात्मनित्या विनिवृत्तकामाः द्वन्द्वैर्विमुक्ता सुखदुःखसञ्ज्ञैः गच्छन्त्यमूढाः पदमव्ययं तत्। न तद्भासयते सूर्यः न शशाङ्को न पावकः यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम। ममैवांशो जीवलोके जीवभूतः सनातनः मनः षष्ठानीन्द्रिय प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति शरीरं यदवाप्नोति यच्चाप्युत्क्रामतीश्वरः गृहीत्वैतानि संयाति वायुर्गन्धानि वाशयात् श्रोत्रं चक्षुस्पर्शनं च रसनं घ्राणमेव च अधिष्ठाय मनश्चायं विषयान् उपसेवते उत्क्रामन्तं स्थितं वापि भुञ्जानं वा गुणान्वितम् विमूढानानुपश्यन्ति पश्यन्ति ज्ञानचक्षुषः यतन्तो योगिनश्चैनम् पश्यन्त्यात्मन्यवस्थितम् यतन्तोऽप्यकृतात्मानः नैनं पश्यन्त्यचेतसः यदादित्यगतं तेजः जगद्भासयतेऽखिलम् यच्चन्द्रमसि यच्चाग्नौ तत्तेजो विद्धि मामकम् गामाविश्य च भूतानि धारयाम्यहमोजसा पुष्णामि चौषधीः सर्वाः सोमो भूत्वा रसात्मकः अहं वैश्वानरो भूत्वा प्राणिनां देहमाश्रितः प्राणापानसमायुक्तः पचाम्यन्नं चतुर्विधम् सर्वस्य चाहं हृदि सन्निविष्टः मत्तस्मृतिर्ज्ञानमपोहनं च वेदैश्च सर्वैः अहमेव वेद्यः वेदान्तकृत् वेदविदेव चाहम् द्वाविमौ पुरुषौ लोके क्षरश्चाक्षर एव च क्षरः सर्वाणि भूतानि कूटस्थोऽक्षर उच्यते उत्तमः पुरुषस्त्वन्यः परमात्मेत्युदाहृतः यो लोकत्रयमाविश्य बिभर्त्यव्यय ईश्वरः यस्मात्क्षरमतीतोऽहम् अक्षरादपि चोत्तमः अतोऽस्मि लोके वेदे च प्रथितः पुरुषोत्तमः यो मामेवमसम्मूढः जानाति पुरुषोत्तमम् स सर्वविद्भजति माम् सर्वभावेन भारत इति गुह्यतमं शास्त्रम् इदमुक्तं मया नघ एतद्बुद्ध्वा बुद्धिमान् स्यात् कृतकृत्यश्च भारत ॐ तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे पुरुषोत्तमयोगो नाम पञ्चदशोऽध्यायः। अथ पञ्चदशोऽध्यायः। श्रीभगवानुवाच ऊर्ध्वमूलमधः शाखम् अश्वत्थं प्राहुरव्ययम् छन्दांसि यस्य पर्णानि यस्तं वेद स वेदवित् अधश्चोर्ध्वं प्रसृतास्तस्य शाखाः गुणप्रवृद्धा विषयप्रवालाः अधश्च मूलान्यनुसन्ततानि कर्मानुबन्धीनि मनुष्यलोके न रूपमस्येह ततोपलभ्यते नान्तो न चादिर्न च सम्प्रतिष्ठा अश्वत्थमेनं सुविरूढमूलम् असङ्गशस्त्रेण दृढेन चित्वा ततः पदं तत्परिमार्गितव्यम् यस्मिन् गता न निवर्तन्ति भूयः तमेव चाद्यं पुरुषं प्रपद्ये यतः प्रवृत्तिः प्रसृता पुराणी निर्मानमोहाजितसङ्गदोषाः अध्यात्मनित्या विनिवृत्तकामाः द्वन्द्वैर्विमुक्ता सुखदुःखसञ्ज्ञैः गच्छन्त्यमूढाः पदमव्ययं तत् न तद्भासयते सूर्यः न शशाङ्को न पावकः यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम ममैवांशो जीवलोके जीवभूतः सनातनः मनः षष्ठानीन्द्रियाणि प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति शरीरं यदवाप्नोति यच्चाप्युत्क्रामतीश्वरः गृहीत्वैतानि संयाति वायुर्गन्धानि वाशयात् श्रोत्रं चक्षुस्पर्शनं च रसनं घ्राणमेव च अधिष्ठाय मनश्चायं विषयान् उपसेवते उत्क्रामन्तं स्थितं वापि भुञ्जानं वा गुणान्वितं विमूढानानुपश्यन्ति पश्यन्ति ज्ञानचक्षुषः यतन्तो योगिनश्चैनं पश्यन्त्यात्मन्यवस्थितम् यतन्तोऽप्यकृतात्मानः नैनं पश्यन्त्यचेतसः यदादित्यगतं तेजः जगद्भासयतेऽखिलम् यच्चन्द्रमसि यच्चाग्नौ तत्तेजो विद्धि मामकम् गामाविश्य च भूतानि धारयाम्यहमोजसा पुष्णामि चौषधीः सर्वाः सोमो भूत्वा रसात्मकः अहं वैश्वानरो भूत्वा प्राणिनां देहमाश्रितः प्राणापानसमायुक्तः पचाम्यन्नं चतुर्विधम् सर्वस्य चाहं हृदि सन्निविष्टः मत्तस्मृतिर्ज्ञानमपोहनं च वेदैश्च सर्वैः अहमेव वेद्यः वेदान्तकृत् वेदविदेव चाहम् द्वाविमौ पुरुषौ लोके क्षरश्चाक्षर एव च क्षरः सर्वाणि भूतानि कूटस्थोऽक्षर उच्यते। उत्तमः पुरुषस्त्वन्यः परमात्मेत्युदाहृतः यो लोकत्रयमाविश्य बिभर्त्यव्यय ईश्वरः। यस्माक्षरमतीतोऽहम् अक्षरादपि चोत्तमः। अतोऽस्मि लोके वेदे च प्रथितः पुरुषोत्तमः। यो मामेवमसम्मूढः जानाति पुरुषोत्तमम् स सर्वविद् भजति माम् सर्वभावेन भारत। इति गुह्यतमं शास्त्रम् इदमुक्तं मया नघ। एतद्बुद्ध्वा बुद्धिमान् स्यात् कृतकृत्यश्च भारत। ॐ तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे पुरुषोत्तमयोगो नाम पञ्चदशोऽध्यायः। अथ पञ्चदशोऽध्यायः। श्रीभगवानुवाच ऊर्ध्वमूलमधः शाखम् अश्वत्थं प्राहुरव्ययम् छन्दांसि यस्य पर्णानि यस्तं वेद स वेदवित्। अधश्चोर्ध्वं प्रसृतास्तस्य शाखाः गुणप्रवृद्धा विषयप्रवालाः। अधश्च मूलान्यनुसन्ततानि कर्मानुबन्धीनि मनुष्यलोके। न रूपमस्येह ततोपलभ्यते नान्तो न चादिर्न च सम्प्रतिष्ठा। अश्वत्थमेनं सुविरूढमूलम् असङ्गशस्त्रेण दृढेन चित्वा। ततः पदं तत्परिमार्गितव्यम् यस्मिन् गता न निवर्तन्ति भूयः। तमेव चाद्यं पुरुषं प्रपद्ये यतः प्रवृत्तिः प्रसृता पुराणी। निर्मानमोहाजितसङ्गदोषाः अध्यात्मनित्या विनिवृत्तकामाः। द्वन्द्वैर्विमुक्ता सुखदुःखसञ्ज्ञैः गच्छन्त्यमूढाः पदमव्ययं तत्। न तद्भासयते सूर्यः न शशाङ्को न पावकः यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम। ममैवांशो जीवलोके जीवभूतः सनातनः। मनः षष्ठानीन्द्रियाणि प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति। शरीरं यदवाप्नोति यच्चाप्युत्क्रामतीश्वरः गृहीत्वैतानि संयाति वायुर्गन्धानि वाशयात्। श्रोत्रं चक्षुस्पर्शनं च रसनं घ्राणमेव च अधिष्ठाय मनश्चायं विषयान् उपसेवते उत्क्रामन्तं स्थितं वापि भुञ्जानं वा गुणान्वितम् विमूढानानुपश्यन्ति पश्यन्ति ज्ञानचक्षुषः यतन्तो योगिनश्चैनम् पश्यन्त्यात्मन्यवस्थितम् यतन्तोऽप्यकृतात्मानः नैनं पश्यन्त्यचेतसः यदादित्यगतं तेजः जगद्भासयतेऽखिलम् यच्चन्द्रमसि यच्चाग्नौ तत्तेजो विद्धि मामकम् गामाविश्य च भूतानि धारयाम्यहमोजसा पुष्णामि चौषधीः सर्वाः सोमो भूत्वा रसात्मकः अहं वैश्वानरो भूत्वा प्राणिनां देहमाश्रितः प्राणापानसमायुक्तः पचाम्यन्नं चतुर्विधम् सर्वस्य चाहं हृदि सन्निविष्टः मत्तस्मृतिर्ज्ञानमपोहनं च वेदैश्च सर्वैः अहमेव वेद्यः वेदान्तकृत् वेदविदेव चाहम् द्वाविमौ पुरुषौ लोके क्षरश्चाक्षर एव च क्षरः सर्वाणि भूतानि कूटस्थोऽक्षर उच्यते उत्तमः पुरुषस्त्वन्यः परमात्मेत्युदाहृतः यो लोकत्रयमाविश्य बिभर्त्यव्यय ईश्वरः यस्माक्षरमतीतोऽहम् अक्षरादपि चोत्तमः अतोऽस्मि लोके वेदे च प्रथितः पुरुषोत्तमः यो मामेवमसम्मूढः जानाति पुरुषोत्तमम् स सर्वविद्भजति माम् सर्वभावेन भारत इति गुह्यतमं शास्त्रम् इदमुक्तं मया नघ एतद्बुद्ध्वा बुद्धिमान् स्यात् कृतकृत्यश्च भारत ॐ तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे पुरुषोत्तमयोगो नाम पञ्चदशोऽध्यायः। अथ पञ्चदशोऽध्यायः। श्रीभगवानुवाच ऊर्ध्वमूलमधः शाखम् अश्वत्थं प्राहुरव्ययम् छन्दांसि यस्य पर्णानि यस्तं वेद स वेदवित् अधश्चोर्ध्वं प्रसृतास्तस्य शाखाः गुणप्रवृद्धा विषयप्रवालाः अधश्च मूलान्यनुसन्ततानि कर्मानुबन्धीनि मनुष्यलोके न रूपमस्येह ततोपलभ्यते नान्तो न चादिर्न च सम्प्रतिष्ठा अश्वत्थमेनं सुविरूढमूलम् असङ्गशस्त्रेण दृढेन चित्वा ततः पदं तत्परिमार्गितव्यम् यस्मिन् गता न निवर्तन्ति भूयः तमेव चाद्यं पुरुषं प्रपद्ये यतः प्रवृत्तिः प्रसृता पुराणी निर्मानमोहाजितसङ्गदोषाः अध्यात्मनित्या विनिवृत्तकामाः द्वन्द्वैर्विमुक्ता सुखदुःखसञ्ज्ञैः गच्छन्त्यमूढाः पदमव्ययं तत् न तद्भासयते सूर्यः न शशाङ्को न पावकः यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम ममैवांशो जीवलोके जीवभूतः सनातनः मनःषष्ठानीन्द्रियाणि प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति शरीरं यदवाप्नोति यच्चाप्युत्क्रामतीश्वरः गृहीत्वैतानि संयाति वायुर्गन्धानि वाशयात् श्रोत्रं चक्षुस्पर्शनं च रसनं घ्राणमेव च अधिष्ठाय मनश्चायं विषयान् उपसेवते उत्क्रामन्तं स्थितं वापि भुञ्जानं वा गुणान्वितम् विमूढानानुपश्यन्ति पश्यन्ति ज्ञानचक्षुषः यतन्तो योगिनश्चैनं पश्यन्त्यात्मन्यवस्थितम् यतन्तोऽप्यकृतात्मानः नैनं पश्यन्त्यचेतसः यदादित्यगतं तेजः जगद्भासयतेऽखिलम् यच्चन्द्रमसि यच्चाग्नौ तत्तेजो विद्धि मामकम् गामाविश्य च भूतानि धारयाम्यहमोजसा पुष्णामि चौषधीः सर्वाः सोमो भूत्वा रसात्मकः अहं वैश्वानरो भूत्वा प्राणिनां देहमाश्रितः प्राणापानसमायुक्तः पचाम्यन्नं चतुर्विधम् सर्वस्य चाहं हृदि सन्निविष्टः मत्तस्मृतिर्ज्ञानमपोहनं च वेदैश्च सर्वैः अहमेव वेद्यः वेदान्तकृत् वेदविदेव चाहम् द्वाविमौ पुरुषौ लोके क्षरश्चाक्षर एव च क्षरः सर्वाणि भूतानि कूटस्थोऽक्षर उच्यते उत्तमः पुरुषस्त्वन्यः परमात्मेत्युदाहृतः यो लोकत्रयमाविश्य बिभर्त्यव्यय ईश्वरः यस्माक्षरमतीतोऽहम् अक्षरादपि चोत्तमः अतोऽस्मि लोके वेदे च प्रथितः पुरुषोत्तमः यो मामेवमसम्मूढः जानाति पुरुषोत्तमम् स सर्वविद् भजति माम् सर्वभावेन भारत।
शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। यस्य द्विरदवक्त्राद्या पारिषद्या परशतं विघ्नं निघ्नन्ति सततं विश्वक्सेनं तमाश्रये। व्यासं वसिष्ठनप्तारं शक्तैः पौत्रमकल्मषम् पराशरात्मजं वन्दे शुकदातं तपोनिधिं। व्यासाय विष्णुरूपाय व्यासरूपाय विष्णवे नमो वै ब्रह्मनिधये वासिष्ठाय नमो नमः। अविकाराय शुद्धाय नित्याय परमात्मने सदैकरूपरूपाय विष्णवे सर्वजिष्णवे। यस्य स्मरणमात्रेण जन्म संसारबन्धनात् विमुच्यते नमस्तस्मै विष्णवे प्रभविष्णवे। ॐ नमो विष्णवे प्रभविष्णवे। श्रीवैशम्पायनो उवाच श्रुत्वा धर्मानशेषेण पावनानि च सर्वशः युधिष्ठिरः शान्तनवं पुनरेवाभ्यभाषत। श्रीयुधिष्ठिर उवाच किमेकं दैवतं लोके किं वाप्येकं परायणम् स्तुवन्तः कमर्चन्तः प्राप्नुयुर्मानवा शुभम्। को धर्म सर्वधर्माणां भवतः परमो मतः किं जपन्मुच्यते जन्तुर्जन्म संसारबन्धनात्। श्रीभीष्म उवाच जगत्प्रभुं देवदेवम् अनन्तं पुरुषोत्तमम् स्तुवन्नाम सहस्रेण पुरुषस्तततोत्थितः। त्वमेव चार्चयन् नित्यं भक्त्या पुरुषम् अव्ययम् ध्यायन् सुवन्नमस्यं च यजमानस्तमेव च। अनादिनिधनं विष्णुं सर्वलोकमहेश्वरम् लोकाध्यक्षं सुवन्नित्यं सर्वदुःखातिगो भवेत्। ब्रह्मण्यं सर्वधर्मज्ञं लोकानां कीर्तिवर्धनम् लोकनाथं महद्भूतं सर्वभूतभवोद्भवम्। एष मे सर्वधर्माणां धर्मोऽधिकतमो मतः यद्भक्त्या पुण्डरीकाक्षं स्तवैरर्चयन्नरः सदा। परमं यो महत्तेजः परमं यो महत्तपः परमं यो महद्ब्रह्म परमं यः परायणम्। पवित्राणां पवित्रं यो मङ्गलानां च मङ्गलम् दैवतं देवतानां च भूतानां यो व्ययः पिता। यतः सर्वाणि भूतानि भवन्त्यादियुगागमे यस्मिन् च प्रलयं यान्ति पुनरेवायुगक्षये। तस्य लोकप्रधानस्य जगन्नाथस्य भूपते विष्णोर्नाम सहस्रं मे शृणु पापभयापहम्। यानि नामानि गौणानि विख्यातानि महात्मनः ऋषिभिः परिगीतानि तानि वक्ष्यामि भूपतये। ऋषिर्नाम्नां सहस्रस्य वेदव्यासो महामुनिः छन्दोनुष्टुप् तथा देवो भगवान् देवकीसुतः। अमृतांशोद्भवो बीजं शक्तिर्देवकी नन्दनः त्रिसामा हृदयं तस्य शान्त्यर्थे विनियुज्यते। विष्णुं जिष्णुं महाविष्णुं प्रभविष्णुं महेश्वरम् अनेकरूपदैत्यान्तं नमामि पुरुषोत्तमम्। अस्य श्रीविष्णोर्दिव्यसहस्रनाम स्तोत्रमहामन्त्रस्य श्रीवेदव्यासो भगवान् ऋषिः अनुष्टुप् छन्दः। श्रीमहाविष्णुः परमात्मा श्रीमन्नारायणो देवता अमृतांशोद्भवो भानुरिति बीजम् देवकी नन्दन सृष्टेति शक्तिः उद्भवक्षोभनो देव इति परमो मन्त्रः। शङ्खभृन्नन्दकी चक्रीति कीलकम् शार्ङ्गधन्वा गदाधर इति अस्त्रम् रथाङ्गपाणिरक्षोभ्य इति नेत्रम् त्रिसामासामगः सामेति कवचम् आनन्दम् परब्रह्मेति योनिः ऋतुः सुदर्शनकाल इति दिग्बन्धः श्रीविश्वरूप इति ध्यानम् श्रीमहाविष्णु प्रीत्यर्थे सहस्रनाम जपे विनियोगः ध्यानम् क्षीरोधन्वत्प्रदेशे शुचिमणिविलसत्सैकते मौक्तिकानाम् मालाकृप्तासनस्थस्फटिकमणिनिभैर्मौक्तिकैर्मण्डिताङ्गः शुभ्रैरभ्रैर्लतभ्रैरुपरि विरचितैर्मुक्तपीयूषवर्षैः आनन्देन पुनीयादरिननिलगदा शङ्खपाणिर्मुकुन्दः भुः पादौ यस्य नाभिर्वियदसुरनिलश्चन्द्र सूर्यौ च नेत्रे कर्णावाशा शिरोद्योर्मुखमपि दहनो यस्य वास्तेयमब्धिः अन्तस्थं यस्य विश्वं सुरनरखगो भोगि गन्धर्वदैत्यैः चित्रं रं रम्यते तं त्रिभुवन विपुषं विष्णुमीशं नमामि। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। शान्ताकारं भुजगशयनं पद्मनाभं सुरेशं विश्वाधारं गगनसदृशं मेघवर्णं शुभाङ्गं लक्ष्मीकान्तं कमलनयनं योगिहृद्ध्यानगम्यं वन्दे विष्णुं भवभयहरं सर्वलोकैकनाथं मेघश्यामं पीतकौशेयवासं श्रीवत्साङ्कं कौस्तुभोद्भासिताङ्गं पुण्योपेतं पुण्डरीकायताक्षं विष्णुं वन्दे सर्वलोकैकनाथम् नमः समस्तभूतानामादिभूताय भूभृते अनैकरूपरूपाय विष्णवे प्रभविष्णवे सशङ्खचक्रं सकिरीटकुण्डलं सपीतवस्त्रं सरसीरुहेक्षणं सहारवक्षस्थलशोभिकौस्तुभं नमामि विष्णुं शिरसा चतुर्भुजम् छायायां पारिजातस्य हेमसिंहासनोपरि आसीनमम्बुदश्याममायताक्षम् अलङ्कृतम् चन्द्राननं चतुर्बाहुं श्रीवत्साङ्कितवक्षसं रुक्मिणी सत्यभामाभ्यां सहितं कृष्णमाश्रये। ॐ विश्वं विष्णुर्वषत्कारो भूतभव्य भवत्प्रभुः भूतकृद्भूतभृद्भावो भूतात्मा भूतभावनः भूतात्मा परमात्मा च मुक्तानां परमागतिः अव्ययः पुरुषः साक्षी क्षेत्रज्ञोऽक्षर एव च योगो योगविदां नेता प्रधानः पुरुषेश्वरः नारसिंहवपुः श्रीमान् केशवः पुरुषोत्तमः सर्वः शर्वः शिवस्थाणुर्भूतादिर्निधिरव्ययः सम्भवो भावनो भर्ता प्रभवः प्रभुरीश्वरः स्वयंभू शम्भुरादित्य पुष्कराक्षो महास्वनः अनादिनिधनो धाता विधाता धातुरुत्तमः अप्रमेयो ऋषिकेशः पद्मनाभो मलप्रभुः विश्वकर्मा मनुस्त्वष्टा स्थविष्ठस्थविरो ध्रुवः अग्राह्यः शाश्वतः कृष्णो लोहिताक्षः प्रतर्दनः प्रभूतस्त्रिककुब्धाम पवित्रं मङ्गलं परम् ईशानः प्राणदः प्राणो ज्येष्ठः श्रेष्ठः प्रजापतिः हिरण्यगर्भो भूगर्भो माधवो मधुसूदनः ईश्वरो विक्रमी धन्वी मेधावी विक्रमक्रमः अनुत्तमो दुराधर्षः कृतज्ञः कृतिरात्मवान् सुरेशः शरणं शर्म विश्वरेता प्रजाभवः अहः संवत्सरो व्याळ प्रत्ययः सर्वदर्शनः अजः सर्वेश्वरः सिद्धिः सिद्धि सर्वादिरच्युतः वृषा कपिलमेयात्मा सर्वयोग विनिश्रितः वसुर्वसुमनः सत्यः समात्मा संवितः समः अमोघः पुण्डरीकाक्षो वृषकर्मा वृषाकृतिः रुद्रो बहुशिरा बभ्रुर्विश्वयोनिश्रुचिश्रवाः अमृतः शाश्वतस्थाणुर्वरारोहो महातपाः सर्वगः सर्वविद्भानुः विश्वक्सेनो जनार्दनः वेदो वेदविदव्यङ्गो वेदाङ्गो वेदवित्कविः लोकाध्यक्षः सुराध्यक्षो धर्माध्यक्षः कृताकृतः चतुरात्मा चतुर्व्यूहश्चतुर्दंष्ट्रश्चतुर्भुजः भ्राजिष्णुर्भोजनं भोक्ता सहिष्णुर्जगदादिजः अनघो विजयो जेता विश्वयोनिः पुनर्वसुः उपेन्द्रो वामनः प्रांशुरमोघः शुचिरूर्जितः अतीन्द्रः सङ्ग्रहः सर्गो धृतात्मा नियमो यमः वैद्यो वैद्यः सदा योगी वीरः माधवो मधुः अतीन्द्रियो महामायो महोत्साहो महाबलः महाबुद्धिर्महावीर्यो महाशक्तिर्महाद्युतिः अनिर्देश्य वपुः श्रीमान् अमेयात्मा महाधृतिक् महेश्वासो महीभर्ता श्रीनिवासः सतां गतिः अनिरुद्धः सुरानन्दो गोविन्दो गोविदाम्पतिः मरीचिर्दमनो हंसः सुपर्णो भुजगोत्तमः हिरण्यनाभः सुतपा पद्मनाभः प्रजापतिः अमृत्युः सर्वदृक्सिंहः सन्धाता सन्धिमान् स्थिरः अजो दुर्मशनः शास्ता विश्रुतात्मा सुरारिः गुरुर्गुरुतमो धामः सत्यः सत्यपराक्रमः निमिषो निमिषः सद्विवाचस्पतिरुदारधीः अग्रणीर्ग्रामणी श्रीमान् न्यायो नेता समीरणः सहस्रमूर्धा विश्वात्मा सहस्राक्षः सहस्रपात् आवर्तनो निवृत्तात्मा संवृतः सम्प्रमर्दनः अहः संवर्तको वह्निरनिलो धरणीधरः सुप्रसादः प्रसन्नात्मा विश्वदिग्विश्वभुग्विभुः सत्कर्ता सत्कृतः साधुर्जन्नुर्नारायणो नरः असङ्ख्येयो प्रमेयात्मा विशिष्टः शिष्टकृच्छुचिः सिद्धार्थः सिद्धसङ्कल्पः सिद्धिदः सिद्धिसाधनः वृषाही वृषभो विष्णुर्वृषपर्वा.
Can you hear me now? Okay, great. Hi, everyone. My name is Ram Gumuluru. I am Dr. Triyambaka Sarma's son-in-law, Sudha's husband. Thank you for being here today. And I have the unenviable task of trying to guide you through this ceremony today. We're not only here to mourn Marigaru's passing, but we're also here to remember all the fond memories we've had of him, right? I mean, we've been seeing all these pictures that have been flashing by on the television screens. These are all the fun moments we've had with him, the joys, the fun times we spent with him, and what we've learned from him, all his traditions, his love for us, his love for his family, his friends, that has come through with every aspect of his life. As we move forward, we'll try to carry the values that he's instilled in us. We'll make sure that they're part of us as we move through our own lives. Some of you are wanting to say some words, and I'm going to call on each of you to come up and speak. And I have a little order sheet, so just come on up and I call your name, and then we'll go from there. So Manju, you want to come up? So first up is Manju, Sudha and Sinu's cousin, and she wants to.
As I'm standing here in front of so many friends and family, I find myself thinking about what Peddhanana meant to me personally, the moments we shared, like the Christmas holidays in Indianapolis, when my dad and Peddhanana would provide sound effects, oohs and ahs, to heighten the anticipation for every gift we opened. The family vacations, like the road trip to Wyoming, our very first resort vacation in Orlando, and all of the vacations that followed since, trips to Hilton Head, Lake Tahoe, and others. I remembered the things that I learned from him, like anatomy lessons soon after I started medical school, where he would meticulously draw for me pictures of the anatomy of the hand, and the ways in which his presence has become a part of my own life. It is difficult to put into words what it feels like to say goodbye to Pedanana, someone who has been such an important part of our life, less than 2 weeks after saying goodbye to my dad. And as I reflect on what they have meant to me, I wanted to share this verse from the Gita that has brought me some comfort. In this verse, Lord Krishna speaks to Arjuna at a moment of profound grief. Arjuna is overwhelmed by the thought of losing his loved ones. And Krishna says, "The soul is never born, nor does it ever die. It has never come into being. It does not come into being, and it will never cease to be. It is unborn, eternal, everlasting, and primeval. It is not slain when the body is slain." This teaching does not ask us to deny our grief today. The pain of separation is real because our love for Pedanana and for Dad is real. We miss his presence, his booming voice, his gregarious smile, and all the moments that made his life precious to us. But the Gita offers us a deeper understanding. The body we knew has passed from this world, but the soul has not ceased to exist. Today we remember not only the life we could see, but the spirit that lived through that life, his love, his kindness, his wisdom, and the goodness that touched us. Those gifts remain with us. So may we honor Pedanana and Dad by carrying their love forward, cherishing their memory, the pillars they were to us in our families, and trusting that their eternal soul continues its journey in peace and light. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
So there's a lot of people here who've traveled from far distances, friends, family, and trying to capture his life in such a short time is hard, but we're trying to make sure that we honor all of his wishes in this afternoon. And one of the people who was very near and dear to him, his brother-in-law, Betamaagaru, who's here today. His son-in-law is going to speak on his behalf. Shankar.
I am Sarma, the eldest son-in-law of Kurella family. Of this, who has passed away, and is so sorry for me. I cannot proceed further. My son-in-law Shankar will say something.
Namaskaram. It is, we have no words. So like as he explained, like I'm his third son-in-law, second son-in-law. So he asked me about to talk about on this occasion. It's no words can be enough to talk about Mahagaru here. And it was, my father-in-law is the eldest of the Amlapuram Tatkaru's family. He's almost 95. And, he's like a contemporary to, him. So he's generally very strong emotionally and wise too. He's a good seeker of Vedantic teachings too, but he could not withstand this grief, especially losing two of his best well-wishers within a span of a week or 10 days. It is very difficult. So he asked me to, express his tribute, his eulogy for this one. Like as I mentioned, it's very difficult for me. I'm not I can't express well usually, but Mahagaru is, I will call him Mahagaru, and this is Maya. So in case when I refer to these people, Mahagaru is a complete man, very accomplished, and he has seen, he has several experiences in his life. He's a very Bandhuhita is, we can see that one. He is a well-wisher. So he helped a lot of people. So I just wanted to give a little bit of chronology in terms of his experiences. I think it just reinforces some of the things that we all have experienced with these families before. They have helped numerous people within our families and outside too. So he was recalling the other day, I think he was married to Lalitata, I think in 1958. And since then, his association was very strong, being the eldest in the family. So he kind of attended so many ceremonies and other things. So he had a very close association, but his bonding actually improved a lot. In the last 30 years, 25 years. So just to mention a few, when his son Krishna came to this country, so both Mahagaru and Ramji Mahagaru, they both helped him settle well. They helped him financially too. So he is very grateful, for that one. So that kind of help they have provided it to many people. It was just a mention of his own gratitude here, though. But and then again, I think around 2000 at that time, his wife Lalitata, she became very sick, and around the same time, I think Palmai and Matta, they came to India, and they wanted to settle back in India. But so at that time, he feels this, very deeply. That was a need of. He was in real trouble at that time with seeing his wife's health condition. And so at that time when they were here in India, So in a simple call, they used to land immediately and take care of the entire care for Atta. So I would rather read my notes here, whatever he told me about it. Okay, so it's easy for me rather than put it in my own words. So since 1958, since then, he shared a very close bond with Maigaru, a closeness that even grew stronger in the last 30 years, as I mentioned. Maigaru, alongside with Ramji Maigaru too, generously helped Krishna when he moved first to this country for his studies. So, and then our families remain deeply thankful for that guidance. More than that, my father-in-law vividly remembers how Maigaru stood by him during the incredibly tough times of Atta's ill health. Whenever they were in India during those difficult days, both Maigaru and Atta would rush to help immediately upon receiving a single phone call. They took complete charge of her hospitalizations, managed her medicines, arranged expert doctor consultations, and handled travel and financial arrangements. Ramji Maigaru too was very helpful for these consultations. Because of them, my father-in-law was entirely free of worries. They were his ultimate pillar of support, and he feels highly indebted to them. Unfortunately, we lost Laltata in 2004. Even after that great loss, they kept close contact. So after the sudden unfortunate departure of your mom, so your father and my father-in-law became even closer during his stay in India, extending profound support to one another. They stayed together for months at times. So he fondly recalls traveling together on sacred pilgrimage trips across India. Maigaru always maintained a jovial spirit, and they were truly best of friends. Maigaru and Paddata loved connecting with family and visited relatives all over the world. Even we were blessed to host them in New Jersey for a week or two when Pawan was just an infant, leaving us with beautiful memories. Maigaru used to sit on the baby bike of Pawan, and Pawan and Pawan's cousin Teja, they used to push him around in the apartment. So I think we even have those pictures. Maigaru used to follow. He was a very good sports person. Like he used to follow basketball and tennis match telecasts with us during that visit. I know that he used to play tennis for a long time too. Those are all very nice memories. When we came a few weeks back here, when he was admitted to the hospital after his stroke, even though he was not able to talk, he used to write on the pad inquiring about us, about each and every one of our family, including the grandchildren and Munimanolu, by names. Maigariki chala bandhu preeti. We are lucky to be born to this generation of parents. Srinu and Sada, you really took care of your father very well. I have seen Srinu myself, the kind of care, and he's a role model for many of us. In this context, I just wanted to, bring in a quote from Bhagavad Gita again. In chapter 2, verse 22, Krishna consoles us about the eternal nature of the soul. The sloka goes this way: Vasamsi jainani yatha vihaya navani gruhnati naroparani tatha sarirani vihaya jainani anyani samyati navani dehi. This means just as a person casts off worn out clothes and puts on new ones, the soul casts off worn out body and enters into a new one. Mavigaru's physical presence is probably gone, but his general soul, his jovial laughter, and the immense support he gave to our family will live on in our hearts forever. We pray for his soul to find eternal peace. We pray also for Ramji Mavigaru's soul too on this occasion. Thank you.
So there are a couple of threads in the conversations that have already been explored, and I'm going to talk about a couple of them that are near and dear to me. Mavigaru spent a lot of time with us in the last 10, 15 years in Boston at our house. And he left such an indelible impression on my children. They were grateful to have him in our house. But there are two threads that the conversations always revolved around two things, always. One was tennis, as you all know. Tennis was something that he loved. He watched that all the time. The second thing he talked about a lot was family. And the Kurella family is a very large, extended family, and there's a lot of, and he tried to tell me who they were, how they were related, and I must say I still don't know, and I cannot figure out who they are. I just know the few who are sitting right there in the front here, but not everybody else. There's another one here, Murthy, who's going to come up here and speak on behalf of, I would say, all the Kurellas, maybe, and say a few words about Mavigaru.
So again, in the space of 2 weeks, the quandary is, where do I start, right? So many of you might not know, but my dad, Triyambaka Bhavaya, and another Pednana of mine who passed away many years ago, they grew up in the same house in Vijayanagaram. So they were literally brothers and friends from childhood. And there are lots of stories we've heard of the three of them as they were growing up. So when I told my dad about Triyambaka Bhavaya's passing, his words were, I'm so distressed, I don't even know what to say. I asked him, will you record something for me? And he said, I don't think I can do any recording right now. I'm just losing all my younger brothers here, right? So that's how close they were. And my earliest memories of Triyambaka Bhavaya were, after Triyambaka Bhavaya had moved to the US, he would visit with family, he would visit India with family every few summers. And whenever he visited India, we would get a telegram from Baijan Pednana, who was the third in the trio, just 3 words in the telegram, right? KTS, Vizag and a date, or KTS, Amlapuram and a date, and that's it. My dad would drop everything and disappear. So I used to always wonder, who's this celebrity named KTS for whom he's willing to drop everything and just go to Andhra for a week or so. And one of those trips, we happened to go as a family. And when I went there and saw the three of them together and the camaraderie, I realized why he used to go there, right? It was so amazing to see the kind of bond they had. And even after coming to the US, by the way, I was the first of our generation of the Kurella clan to come to the US. And then there was a gap of a number of years, then Krishna came. I talked about that last week as well. I made 2 attempts to come to the US. And the second attempt I talked about last week, Umapini and Ramji Bhavaya just took complete care of everything. But the first attempt, it was Triyambaka Bhavaya and Annapurna Pini, who literally pulled out all the stops. They did everything that I asked them to do. There were no questions asked, right? And of course, I didn't manage to come at that time, but later I came, and after I got to the US, Triyambaka, just like Ramji Baba, would proactively keep in touch with me, take care, because I was the only one of our generation here after the two of them. They would proactively, he would keep in touch with me, and of course, we all make many excuses why we cannot call or why we cannot keep in touch, and I had mine. I had my list of them, right? But you all know Triyambaka is just unfazed by all those excuses. He would just keep calling me regularly and keep, going. Patta laganda boy, right? Come and that he would embarrass me so much that just to avoid that embarrassment, I got into the habit of calling him regularly, right? So it was, that's how, and that habit stayed with me, and I kept in touch with Ramji Baba, Annapurna, everybody, right? I mean, it was wonderful. So many visits, so many great memories. There are a couple of visits at least that I really think highlight how he was full of adventure. He loved an adventure. He loved making friends. It was not like he didn't have a big enough network already, right? Maintaining that network itself is a big task. I mean, most of us would probably fail at it, right? But he did a fantastic job of maintaining that network and making new friends. One example was, we used to live in DC, myself and Rama, and at that time, he and Annapurna visited us. And they were supposed to go to Sula after visiting us for a couple of days. But then there was a blizzard or something, and he was forced to stay for another week. Every week, every day, he would pack his bags, come down, and Annapurna would look at me and, what's going on here, right? And there was no way he could drive. Then finally he would call Sudha. Sudha would tell him, no, it's not safe, don't come. And then they stayed for a week. Such a wonderful time we had at that time. Another time when after we moved to California, he came there, and Maigaru and Atta and two other senior citizen couples, including my in-laws, he just took it upon himself to organize a Yosemite trip for them. He rented a van, he took them on a Yosemite trip, and while in the Yosemite trip, there was a heavy snowfall, right? So he and Marigaru put snow chains on the tires. They didn't miss anything in Yosemite. They went through the whole trip, and he brought them back. I mean, he always loved an adventure, loved hanging, and from that point on, he and my father-in-law became good friends. So the theme here, I think I'm alluding to, is how he built relationships and how he maintained them, how he was up for fun, adventure. And that's the biggest lesson for me, and hopefully for everybody else here, right? That we all need to take time to maintain all these relationships, enhance them, make new ones. I got a lot from him, from Annapurna Pini, as well as from Ramji Baba and Uma Pini, and I'm always grateful to all of them for that. So Baba, thank you so much for all the memories, for all the lessons in life, and we miss you very, very much. Thank you.
As you know, his better half, Annapurnata, she passed away 2 decades ago now, I guess. Her family, which is also a major part of his life, was something that he treasured as well. And there are two of Sudha and Sinu's cousin, Kiran and Sundar, who are here. We're going to speak on their behalf. You introduce yourself.
For those of you
who don't know me, my name is Kiran Vyakaranam, and I am the youngest son of Sarma Pedanana's wife's younger sister, so Lalita's younger son. Some of you, I may have seen you when I was very little. Some of you have seen you more recently. So I want to first share on behalf of the Vyakaranam family, the entire Vyakaranam family, our heartfelt condolences to the entire Kurella family, Sudaka, Sinonia, Manjuoka, Selyoka, Adit, Umabedama. It's been a very difficult time the last couple of weeks, and our thoughts and prayers are with you from all of us. I want to first read a message that my mom shared, and after that I'll share some of my memories of Pedanana as well. So my mom and of course my Pedama, they lost their father at a very young age. And so the first thing my mom shares is, since we lost our father at a very young age, we had that fatherly support from Baba Garu. So Baba Garu is the term used for brother-in-law. So she's always thought of Pednana, my Pednana, as a fatherly figure throughout. Me and Babai have so many unforgettable memories of Akaya and Baba Garu to cherish. Of course, she's addressing Sudaka and Sinonia. From planning to invest in a house opposite to each other, traveling, watching movies, to attending all music festivals and attend local get-togethers. So when Pedama and Pednana moved back to India, I think it was early 2000s, late 90s, I can't remember, I was in college. They lived very close to my parents' house. And that was a period where they were trying to, I guess, get used to the life in India after spending so much time in the US. And they spent a lot of time together, attending music festivals, traveling, and all of that. And that's what my mom is referring to. And also during that time, they actually planned to invest in a house. It was a flat opposite to each other, where my parents actually stayed for a long time and Pednana stayed as well. Though Akaya could not fulfill her wish of enjoying in her new house opposite to us, Bavagaru made her dream come true, and we were glad to see him enjoying his stay and our company. So Pedama unfortunately passed away before that house was complete, and but Pedanana made sure that it was complete, and he lived there and just opposite to my parents, and they were very close, and that's what she's referring to. We and our children were fortunate enough to have his blessings and spend time with him during Sanjeev's marriage and his stay in Praveen's house. So last year, when Pednanagaru went to India for Sanjeev's wedding, he stayed in Bengaluru, where my brother lives, with his family. And so that's what my mom is referring to, is, you know, they really had, you know, a very good time hosting him there. And that's the memory she's referring to. We recently visited him in Charlotte, along with Kiran and grandson Mayur in June. So a couple of months ago in June, when my parents were visiting me, I drove them here together with my son Mayur. And that was the first time Mayur was actually meeting Pednanagaru. And that's what my mom is referring to. A great human to be remembered for years and decades. So that's the message. Obviously, my mom is not the best at writing, but if she were here, she would share a lot more. And she was very close to Pednanagaru, who she always affectionately referred to as Bavagaru. So for me and my brother growing up in India, Pedama and Pedanana were, and of course Sinonia and Sadaka were the relatives that we had in the US. And we always looked forward to their visit. And the earliest memories I have is of me and my brother telling my mom what to write in the letter she used to write to Pedama and Pedana, the list of toys that we wanted. So we were very particular. We already had this Lego set. Can you please ask them to get this one? In addition to that, my brother and I, we also have we cherish a lot of memories with the extended Kurella family. Every time, we visited Amalapuram. There was one summer we were in Vizag. We visited Vijayanagaram and Komatpalli. And for us growing up, at least for me, that was the first time I experienced country life in India. Because we grew up in the city, right, and mostly urban life. But so that is the very important memory I have of spending life in the countryside in India. So that was growing up. I had all those memories of Pednanagaru. And then after I moved to the US in the early 2000s for my graduate school, there was, of course, my graduation, and Pednana made it a point to come all the way to New Jersey for my graduation. And that was a very, I cherish that moment a lot. It had an important significance for me. Up until then, for me, Pednanagaru and Pedama were, the uncle and aunt who were in the US, and, I had my cousins. But when Pednana visited me for graduation, that was when I connected with him I was talking to him about my struggle during the PhD, how tough it was. I'm finally glad I graduated and all of that. And then that's when I heard from him his story of how it was when he came in the 60s as a doctor. And it was an experience that put things in perspective for me. Is that I'm complaining about something so trivial. Back then it was so difficult. And that's when I came to appreciate how difficult it was for his generation to come all the way, and then how much he opened the gates for so many after that, right? So that was an important moment I wanted to share as well. And then over time, Pednanagaru was the eldest on my mom's side of family, after especially Pedama's passing and my grandmother's passing, and starting with my brother's wedding. He was the eldest to, give us all blessings from my mom's side of the family. And somebody mentioned earlier at my brother's family, my sister-in-law is also from the Kurella family. And there was a time when he could actually be from both sides, the groom and the bride side. That was a funny instance I remember. More recently, in the last couple of years, my parents and we visited Pednanagaru here in Charlotte. And regarding the last trip, we came here in June with Mayur, my son, who's 6 now. I really wanted, Pednanagaru to see him. And Pednanagaru was, as always, he was very inquisitive. And my son is into soccer these days, with the World Cup. And he was actually asking Mayur, who's better, Messi or Ronaldo? And he was actually very patient, and he was listening to Mayur, explaining to him why Ronaldo is the better one. And I think he almost convinced. And so that was a very important, I really loved them both interacting. So I'm very fortunate to have Pednanagaru as, with all his blessings, with all his wishes throughout the many years. And I also want to say, Sinonea and Sudaka, it's for somebody like me, youngest in the family, on the cousin side, it's an inspiration for me how you've taken care of Pednanagaru all these years. Thank you.
For people who don't know me, I'm Sundar Varanasi. I think we have lost two great souls in the last 10 days, I would say. who had a profound impact on my life personally after I moved to United States. I've known Moy Garu since I was a kid. I think there was reference made about his passion for tennis. In fact, I can vouch for it. I got my first tennis racket from him. I was a kid, probably in the middle school. I was like, "What is this, Moy Garu?" He said, "This is tennis, Ra. You should play tennis. How long you are going to play cricket?" I was like, okay. Then I started watching what is tennis. I started looking up, and then, oh, this is a really good sport. Maybe I should pick it up. Then I realized in Hyderabad, those days, there were no tennis courts. You had to be really that elite person. You should have some connections to be in those country clubs. I told Moy Garu, it looks like there are no tennis courts. I think I'm better served with cricket and soccer and other things which are well within my means. Then he said, no, you'll play tennis one day. I see that you have the passion. And thanks to him, even today, I play tennis and I love tennis. The other thing I can talk about is when I came to this country, I know Murthy Garu spoke, Shankar Garu, how both Maya and Attaya and Ramji Garu and Uma Garu, how they had been a great influence on a lot of cousins who wanted to come to United States, both for a career or for a master's degree or whatnot. I think they've had a tremendous. So when I came, I think both Maya Garu and Attaya Garu, they drove all the way to pick me up in Detroit. I had the privilege of spending at least 2 to 3 months with them doing road trips. Fantastic experience, right? So we started from Detroit, and then Maya, I have some, classmates, my engineering classmates there in Dayton, Ohio. Oh yeah, let's do a pit stop there. Don't worry, let's go. And then we go there, and then there was one of Kurella's, one of my friends, Kurella, who studied with me. Then they connected. Oh, it's like really great. And then we went to Indianapolis. We traveled the whole Middle West. I think I saw most of the U.S. Both through Moy Garu and Attaya Garu, right? Cleveland, pit stop, Sri Sudha, excellent. We had some great time there, and on and on. I think we very compassionate. I think great soul. I'm just there's lots of words, but there are two people. One is my wife, who could not be here, but she has a special message for him. He is the most special person in her life from my side. So you can imagine what he meant to her. So I'm going to read out what she had for him. It's going to be tough, but I will try to do my best. Today, I want to remember someone who was far more than a relation to me. Sarma Mawaya meant so much to us. He was a father figure, a source of strength, and a true blessing in my life. This is my wife saying. His life touched many people, but his place in my heart will always be very special. He helped bring me into the family I have today, and he continued to watch over us with so much love and affection. His smile and happiness whenever he saw us were truly precious. He was always excited to come over to our home and be part of our family moments. I will especially remember how excited he was for Sundar's 50th birthday. That was me. And he was surprised to see Sundar dancing. I didn't know that, okay. Seeing this joyful, completely different side of Sundar brought him so much happiness, and that memory still makes me smile. Some of my most cherished memories, all of the time he spent with us in St. Louis, especially celebrating his 80th birthday. Yeah, we had we were blessed to celebrate his 80th birthday at our place with some of his closest, dearest friends from St. Louis. And being there for him during this time here. I'm devastated by his loss, but I'm also deeply grateful for the love, warmth, guidance, and blessings he gave us. He may no longer be with us, but his beautiful smile, his love, and the special place he holds in our family will never be forgotten. May he rest in peace, and may his blessings continue to guide and protect us always. I think one thing I can really say is like he's not just been an inspiration for our generation, but to the next generation as well. I think from my personal standpoint, my kids, they have never seen my dad, so they never had, but he's been that grandfather figure. Both him and Ramji Garu, I think they have been the grandpas in their life, and we've had great, we were blessed to have both of them in our life. This was from my wife, and Prabhakar Mawaya also, if I know, if he had a special message. This is one of my, and we also have, what's your name from Varanasi? I think you are from Jagaros, okay. We have one more Varanasi here. This is from Prabhakar Mawaya. So we have a classic Carnatic musician in our family. He's, I think he's been practicing music since he was a kid. But I think both Mawaya Garu and Atte Garu gave him an opportunity to perform in US as well. I think we have it here, okay. So he sort of sent this special message. This is dark. You want to read? Okay, yeah, this is good. Dr. Kurella Sharmagaru, a beloved leader, compassionate physician, and above all, a cherished father figure in my life, was a pioneer, arriving in the United States in the 1966 among the earliest waves of Indian medical professionals. He went on to become one of the most respected and well-known physicians across the country, especially within the Telugu diaspora and the medical community. Beyond his professional stature, my relationship with him was deeply personal and rooted in warm family bonds. My affection for Sharmagaru began through the marriage to my dear cousin, that is my Attaya, Annapurna Vadina, the daughter of my Menatta Garu. Our family shared a profound closeness with Annapurna Vadina and brought her Sharmagaru through my beloved Anegaru. Whenever they visited India, their stop at our ancestral home in Machilipatnam was always a cherished occasion full of warmth and love. From my childhood, I possessed a deep passion for singing, which eventually became my life's vocation. However, I owe the international footprint of my career to the tireless efforts and encouragement of Sharma Anegaru and Annapurna Vadina. In 1991, they personally championed my journey by arranging a prestigious platform for me to perform at the Telugu Association of North America Conference, TANA Conference. When visa hurdles arose, Anegaru went above and beyond, even taking necessary legal steps with the American consulate to ensure I received my visa. That pivotal moment launched my identity as an international performing artist, opening doors for me to tour the United States numerous times over the years. During my visits and stays with them, I experienced firsthand his quiet, deep affection for me, my family, and my artistic career, treating me with the same warmth and care he gave to his own beloved children, Sinu and Sudha. He was not just a benefactor, but a trusted guide and advisor throughout my professional journey. As a physician in the United States, Sharmagaru was renowned for his soft-spoken demeanor, gentle humor, and extraordinary generosity towards his patients. What amazed me most was his incredible strength, self-discipline, and inner vitality even after the heartbreaking loss of the devoted life partner, our Annapurna Vadina. In 2007, he carried himself with immense grace and dignity, well into his late 90s, completing a glorious, full of life equivalent to a century. Adhikamasas. He lived peacefully and happily, surrounded by the love of his son Sudha, son Srinu's daughter Sudha, and grandchildren. I am eternally grateful for his guidance, generosity, and unwavering belief in my talent. I offer my deepest condolences to Srinu, Sudha, and entire family during this time of grief. I pray that his noble soul attains eternal peace at the divine feet of Paramatma and Parameshwari. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Mamagar is survived by two younger sisters. One of them, Yashoda Atta, is here. The other one is Amaji Atta, who's in Hyderabad. Krishna, Mamagar's nephew, is going to say a few words on her behalf because she wrote something to say.
You have been hearing today two Krishnas. One is quoted from Bhagavad Gita. Other Krishna you have been hearing is me, that fortunate one. Okay. We have, from my childhood onwards, we have been, these Mayas are great in our life. To share a few funny moments, we had a tennis match in our first Harihar Swami Kids Reunion in Wisconsin. I don't know how many of my cousins remember that, but unfortunately my cheerleader is not here, so I don't want to declare the result. Even though his cheerleader is here, I don't want to trust her result. Recently, when I visited with my father for his rehab center, Sinu and I have experienced how immensely he's happy to see my father, and immediately started training him, say Om, so Amma, and he's excited and he's ready to repeat those. And now we can't train him anymore. But he will be there always with us. Something else. Sorry. Amma Jipini is his last sister. He sent these messages. These are the messages that gives some of his traits, like how he is, play with her teachers, how he used to tease her, and nicknames to her teachers and stuff. Other is how he's good with his grandkids and how his interactions are. And some of them are here.
భోజనం వడ్డించాను. ఏం పప్పయ్యా అన్నాడు. తోటకూర పప్పు అన్నయ్య అన్న. ఏంటే మీరు రోజు గరికపాటి వారు అయినంత మాత్రం ఆకులు అలవలే పెడతావా మాకు, ఉత్తుపప్పులు చేసుకోరా మీ ఇంట్లో అని గదవాయించాడు. అదే
Basically, what she's saying is her surname is Garkipati, and she's making papu. Many of you probably know what it is. She's putting totkura, gongura, different leaf vegetables, and Garkipati is basically grass related. So he was joking with her, teasing her, are you going to only remind me that you are Garikpati by giving me every day a papu with some leaves in it, or will you ever make a straightforward. That's the context of it. And the other one is
మనవరాలు పెద్ద మనవరాలతో బాగా ఆడుకునేవాడు. తను బయట నుంచి వచ్చినప్పుడల్లా కిడ్నీ బ్యాంక్ లో 1-2 రూపాయలు తన దగ్గర ఉన్న చిల్లర దాన్ని కిడ్నీ బ్యాంక్ లో వేసేవాడు. ఓ రోజు వెయ్యలా. ఏంటి కిడ్నీ బ్యాంక్ లో డబ్బులు అయిపోతే ఎప్పుడు నిండుతా వేయండి డబ్బులు అని గర్వానికి ఆయన చేత డబ్బులు కిడ్నీ బ్యాంక్ లో వేయించుకుంటూ ఉండేది. మేమందరూ నవ్వు ఇదేంటి మేమెవరో అంత ధైర్యంగా మా అన్నయ్యతో మాట్లాడగలిగే వాళ్ళం కాదు, నువ్వు పోట్లాడి మరీ వేయించుకుంటున్నావు డబ్బులు తప్పమ్మా అంటే అన్నయ్య నవ్వుతూ తప్పేం లేదమ్మా వేసుకోయిందా నిండాయా నీ బ్యాంకు ఇంకా లేదా రేపు వేస్తానే అన్నాడు.
So that's basically she's showing how respect they used to give Pedamaya, like how difficult it is to talk to him as well, in that there are two messages, both high respect as well as fear to talk so freely with him. But her grandchild is so freely talk to him, and she's sending a message that how easy he is with grandkids and how easy the grandkids can communicate with him and so on. That's the message she's conveying here. Finally,
ఎలిమెంటరీ స్కూల్లో ఉండగా దసరా పూజలప్పుడు స్కూల్ పిల్లలు అందరూ ఇంటింటికి వెళ్ళి జై బాబా విజయ్ బాబా అంటూ ఏదో పాటలు పాడి వెళ్ళేవాళ్ళం. పాడితే అప్పుడు డబ్బులు ఇచ్చేవారు అన్నమాట ఎలిమెంటరీ స్కూల్ టీచర్కి. ఆ డబ్బులే పాపం వాళ్ళకి టీచర్స్ కి కొంచెం ఆదాయం, మిగతా అసలు చాలా తక్కువ ఉండేది పేమెంట్. మా ఇంటికి వచ్చినప్పుడు మా అన్నయ్య ఉన్నాడు అప్పుడు పెద్దన్నయ్య, భూష్కాళి మా హెడ్ మాస్టర్ పేరు నాగభూషణం గారు, గుర్తు నాగభూషణం గారు. అయితే దాని భూష్ కాలేజీ వాళ్ళు వచ్చేసారండి, రండి పప్పు బెల్లాలు పెట్టండి అంటూ మా ఇంట్లో వాళ్ళని అలవాటు చేశారు. అప్పుడు ఏదో డబ్బు ఇచ్చి పంపిస్తే భూష్ కాలేజీ వెళ్ళిపోయినప్పుడే అంటున్నాడు.
This is basically he's teasing her with his teacher's name, Nagabhushan Garu to Bhushkali, and all those. You can see how he interacts in that age, how he used to tease his younger sister and so on. And Ravi is the eldest nephew in our cousins group. He sent a message. Hari will play it.
So this is from Ravi, who is my, the oldest Mannaludu of Padmaya, and he sent a message here, a voice message. I'm going to play that for everyone.
నేను పెద్దమాయ సంస్మరణ సభలో వ్యక్తిగతంగా రాలేని కారణంగా నేను సమర్పించుకునే అశ్రుతాంజలి. పెద్దమావయ్య, మీరంటే అందరికీ అభిమానమే. బంధువులకు, మిత్రులకు, మీ విద్యార్థి లోకానికి అసలు ఆప్యాయతను, నిస్వార్థమైన ప్రేమకు, ఆత్మీయతకు, ఆదరణకు అర్థం ఏమిటని ఎవరైనా అడిగితే మీరే మాకు నిఘంటువు. కుటుంబం అంటే ప్రాణం, ప్రతి అనుబంధం పట్ల ఎనలేని మమకారం, ప్రతి పనిలో ఒక వ్యాఖ్యానం. మీ మాట, మీ విజ్ఞానం, అనుభవం, వైఖరి 100 గ్రంథాలకు తాత్పర్యం. వైద్య రంగంలో మంచి అధ్యాపకునిగా, శిష్య ప్రశిష్య వర్గం కలిగిన గొప్ప గురువుగా, జీవన రంగస్థలంపై మీరు పోషించిన పాత్రలు సంగీత సాహిత్య ప్రియం భావుకునిగా, పోషకునిగా, తెలుగు భాష ప్రేమికునిగా, నటుకునిగా, ప్రాణదాతగా, వాస్కులర్ సర్జన్గా మీ బహుముఖ ప్రజ్ఞ అందరి హృదయ ఫలకాలపై చెరగన ముద్ర వేసుకున్నాయి. మీ ఆత్మీయత అమృతవర్షిణి, ఆనందవర్ధిని. మీరు మన కోనసీమలో అందంగా పండి ఒరిగిన చేను. కళ్ళల్లో, మనసు పొరల్లో, మాటల్లో, చేతల్లో ప్రతి క్షణం మీరు మా మదిలో కదులుతూనే ఉంటారు. అమలాపురం, రాజోలు ప్రాంతాల్లోని విద్యా సంస్థల్లో, గుళ్లలో మీ సహకారంతో నిర్మించిన భవనాలు మిమ్మల్ని గుర్తు చేస్తూనే ఉంటాయి. నవతి 90వ సంవత్సర మహోత్సవానికి దగ్గరలో మా నుంచి వెళ్ళిపోవడం ఇంకా కలే, నిజం కాదు. మేనమావ అంటే తండ్రి లాంటి వాడు అంటారు. మీరు నాకు పితృప్రేమను ఇచ్చారు. పెద్ద మావయ్య, మీరు భౌతికంగా మానించి వెళ్ళిపోయినా మానసికంగా శాశ్వతులు. సంస్మరణ సభలో మీకు సద్గతి కలగాలని, శాంతి కలగాలని ఆశించడం తప్ప ఇంకేం చేయగలం. మీతో పాటు పెద్దత్త దివ్యాశీస్సులు మాకెప్పటికీ ఉండాలని, మన కుటుంబ బాంధవ్యం చిరకాలం వర్ధిల్లాలని, మీ సంతానం మనోధైర్యంతో సదా ముందడిగేయాలని, పైనుండి కురిసే మీ ఆశీస్సులే, మీ మధుర జ్ఞాపకాలే మాకు శాశ్వతమని భావిస్తూ శోకతప్త హృదయంతో మీ పెద్ద మేనల్లుడు రవి, శ్రీమతి శ్రీదేవి, మనవలు శ్రీకరణ్ మరియు హరికేష్, మీరు ముద్దుగా పిలిచే హరిబాబ్.
So besides family, what else defined Marigaru was his large social circle. He had so many friends all over North America, India. I cannot, and some of them are not able to be here today. And Sinu's going to read a few words from one of them, the Wadlamani uncle.
Hello. This is from Money Uncle. I think, as you guys have already been told and surmised, we've had 2 different incidents on 2 different coasts. It's impacted the family, but Money Uncle flew to California to be with Umapini. And unfortunately, because of that, he could not be here today. So it is affecting all the friends as well. But this is his eulogy for his dear friend, Sarma Garu. My name is Subramaniam Varlamani. I live in St. Louis. My association and friendship with Sarmaji goes back more than half a century, to 1972, March. He and Mrs. Annapurna invited me to their apartment next to the Central Hardware on Big Bend Road. That's where it was, to celebrate the Ugadi festival. Little did we realize that our families were already known to each other for many years prior. Dr. Harihara Swami Garu, that's my grandfather, and my grandfather, Sri Kamashastri Garu, were close friends, and they had a common bond, the love of Sanskrit. Triyambaka Shamaji and Annapurna moved to Jerseyville, Illinois, to set up his surgery practice there. Jerseyville is only 40 miles across the Mississippi River. Because of the proximity, our friendship continued to flourish. Swamiji would return to St. Louis after completing his fellowship in hand surgery several years later. I offered Swamiji to use my office as long as he wished, and introduced him to some local practitioners who were my referral source. Swamiji later decided to move back to India. Samagaru had a great love for Sanskrit, chip off the old block. He was very erudite and well-versed in our scriptures and epics. I miss the discourses we used to have. Srimati Annapurna's passing from a partnership of more than 50 years prompted Sarmaji to move back to the US to be near his dutiful son, Sinu, that his words, and loving, dedicated daughter, Sudha. My friendship with Sarmaji left several indelible marks, and time constraints prevent me from further elaboration. He was a kind and generous human being, always putting others before self. He and his younger brother Ramji, who preceded Sarmaji in passing into the ages, were 2 peas in a pod, yes, and are united in heaven. May Lord bless their atmas with eternal peace. I and my wife Geeta miss both Pedasarma and Chinnasarma, as we affectionately call them. So long and farewell. So thank you, Mani Uncle. As long as I have the mic, I will just say a few words, but I will be brief. That's right, brief. I am eternally grateful to all of you who have given such kind words, and I'm very glad that among the memories, you're remembering some of the humorous anecdotes as well.
as you may have surmised, at least on the Kurella branch, my dad's branch, we have 19 cousins, grandchildren of our grandfather. The eldest, who is my Pedamaya's daughter, Kameshwari, could not be here today. She sent a beautiful verbal text, video, audible, you know what I'm saying, an audio text to a group of us and reminded us that over the past 2 weeks, although it's been difficult, this is not a day for condolences. This is not a day for tears. In fact, I have none left after the past 10 days. And those are good words. We're celebrating not one life, two lives, but two well-lived lives. And they left an indelible impact. My father suffered a stroke about 2 months ago. The cruel irony is that he lost his speech. And if you know anything about him, that is some kind of irony. He was not the most succinct person in the world, although he loved to tell stories and loved to talk about any topic. A few years ago, about 10, 15 years ago, I think we had one of our reunions. We decided that, he decided that he was going to put a family tree together, going back generations. And he volunteered Prashant to help him with that, putting it into Ancestry.com. And I always wondered, like, Prashant, you know every single person in the family, their wife, their spouse, all these children. How do you, I don't know them. How do you know them? And he said, yeah, because every time I put somebody in the tree, he thought that would give me a 2-hour lecture about them. So he memorized all the names that way. It's impossible to talk about my dad without talking about two people. First of all, my mother, who we lost almost 20 years ago. They had some kind of connection. It's hard to figure out. It was a strange one. My dad always said, we are diametrically opposed. It's a strange thing for a husband to say about his wife, but in some things, they did not agree, for sure. But I think he could say that as almost a joke, because the things they had in common, things that they taught us, she was a singer of Carnatic music. He was a great lover of that music. That obviously helped strengthen their bond. The values that they taught us were the same, and the impact that they had, as you saw from many, many stories. They were always selfless. I think to a fault sometimes at the cost to them. They were helping anybody who needed their help. The second is my babaya. I don't know my father to have any interest in, he has an interest in a lot of topics. I didn't know that numerology was one of them. I don't know that. But the number 9, as many of you know, is very auspicious in our culture. He passed away 9 days before his 90th birthday. In fact, today was the day we were having his birthday celebration. He also passed away 9 days after his brother, who is 9 years younger to him. I don't know if any of that means anything. It's just something I observed. But I do know these two, who you could tell, you would think they hated each other, were so close they cannot stand being apart. And again, it's ironic. They're brothers. They don't show emotion to each other. My first memory of coming to the US, my babaya and my pinny brought me to this country at the age of 4. On my 4th birthday, my babaya gave me a toy rocket. And these two brothers took the rocket, assembled it, put it on the pump, and they said, are you ready for the maiden flight of the rocket? I still remember the rocket. Pumped it, put
pushed the button, it went up and landed on the roof of the apartment building. These guys started arguing. Typical Kurella Visigu. Why did you pump it so hard? No, I didn't pump it. You were the one who pointed it at the roof. And I'm a 4-year-old crying because this beautiful toy is now on the roof. And while I was crying, they both went back inside to the apartment arguing about who was at fault. I would give anything to have one more argument between the two of them on any topic, but they're probably having that themselves right now. My last comment, and I know Sudha's going to talk as well. She is the more eloquent of the two. I don't do heartfelt very well, but I want to thank, I'll speak for Sailu and Manju and Adit and Pinni as well, and my sister Sudha, our immediate families, Ram, Vijaya, the grandkids, Ken, Tom, Pratibha, Arun, Priya. Through your own grief, you have helped us settle the past 10 days. And I don't know, I'm getting emotional thinking about that, but that's just the physical work and the emotional support on 2 different coasts. So there's going to talk about the broader family, but I just want to thank all of you because it's not been easy being isolated in Charlotte away from all of you. So that's it. Thank you.
So my dad, you know, was a Carnatic music lover and supporter. He couldn't carry a note, but it didn't stop him. My mom could sing. He spent countless days and times bringing numerous musicians to the United States in the 70s and the 80s and into the 90s. That's before Spotify, that's before access to these artists. He supported them, he brought them, he believed in them. He also, as you heard, encouraged my mom's cousin, G.V. Prabhakar, to tour and see the US. And Prabhakar, in calling me and offering his condolences, said, "Your father opened up my world. I was living in a small world, and he opened it up for me." In the last few days of being with Dad, we played gentle Carnatic music in the room. And he loved Tyagaraja, Anamaya Kirtans. There was one particular that stood out as I talked to my cousin. I don't know if I'll get the name right. Manjudai Putti. My cousin Hari, who was with us, graciously walked me through the meaning. And it felt so profound in that moment. The song, I won't be able to say it or sing it in my mom's voice, but the meaning, as I understood, was acts of service to others. And forgo all that, then there's acts of service to God, one and the same duality. And in a sign from elsewhere, the next day after my father passed, talking to my cousin Mamu and his wife Manjusha in India, they told me about the education fund that was established in India by Dad and Ramji Bhabia. I had no clue. And they told me about the most recent beneficiary of this fund, a student who had just graduated with their MBBS, and another student graduated with their MD. And I thought that how perfect is that? A next generation of doctors. What we also found is that my grandfather, Kurella Hari Swami, instilled this in Dad and Bhavya. And they believed that you're not just educating that person. By educating that person, you're providing support for an entire family. And so that carries forward. Recently also found out or made aware or that both Bhavya and Dad also funded a school in Amapuram, K through 12, I believe. And they named it after our grandmother, Mamagaru, after Gayatri Devi. And they built different places in our grandparents' names. We have a profound sadness in losing 2 father figures in 9 days. I hope we can find eventual peace with the quiet acts of dignity both Bobby and Dad did. The love they showed their extended family and the acts of service, the seva, quietly they performed, and that we should all try to live up to those standards. Something Sina said kind of sparked something in me that we are, Dad was, at home in hospice upon learning of Bobby's passing and trying to express himself, even though he did not have the speech. For those of 2 or 3 of us in the room, he said, me and him, one in my heart. So with that, we can't separate the two. They're both my fathers. I wanted to extend a profound gratitude to my extended network of family and cousins. All of them stepped up and stepped in. There's so many of you that arrived, came in the last month to support us in our hours of need, both in California and in Charlotte. You literally stopped your lives, and your spouses and families stopped their lives and supported you in helping us. This not only extends to our Kurella Hari Swami cousins, the Varanasi family, our spouses' families, and extended families, Denise family and extended cousins and siblings, and the extended network of people that we have in our life. I just say thank you for that, being there for us, for me and Sinu, and particularly those of you who were there. I know you're squirming in your seat because I want to say thank you to you in the last 10 days. You were there, and but thank you. Om Shanti Shanti. May he rest in peace.
Okay, we'll end this by a few words from Marigar's grandkids, Sanjeev, Prashant, Divya, and Roshan. They all have prepared something to say. After that, we're going to have the ceremony, and the priest will be performing that.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sanjeev. I'm joined by my brother Prashant, Divya, and Roshan, Sarma Tata's grandchildren. We wanted to share a few words. I think he impacted all of us in very similar ways. So each of us has our own unique memories of when we think of our Tata. For me, and I promise I did not know that Nana was going to talk about the family tree project. I really didn't know he was going to do that, but indeed that's the memory that always comes back to me, because when I think of Sarma Tata, he was a man of family, and he loved when all of us would gather. He loved the reunions. I think in many ways he enjoyed those more than a lot of us did. So it's true that, I don't know, Prashant and I were maybe 15 years old, and he had this idea. He was inspired to create a Kurella family tree, and he commissioned the two of us to take the lead in helping him build the tree. Otherwise, probably the last thing that two 15-year-old boys want to do during their summer break is help their Tata build a family tree of names they don't recognize and people they don't know. But we saw how much joy it gave him to think of his family and the excitement that he got from it. And so we got a lot of joy in the process ourselves, just from seeing how it affected him and how much excitement he got from it. So and so it was enjoyable. And there were a lot of tasks like that. Some exciting tasks, we would watch sports together. Some mundane tasks, helping him with the cell phone, other things. But somehow he had an ability to always make it seem like a worthwhile time. He was a very calming presence, very respectful of our time, sometimes to a fault. We had to encourage him that he could, we're his grandkids, and you can bother us and annoy us. It's okay. So that's the memory that I have of Tata.
Hi, everyone. My name is Prashant. And what I wanted to say is what I'm most proud of my Tata for, aside from the fact that he was a good and kind-hearted man, is what he was able to accomplish in his life, mainly as a doctor and as a family man, like Sanjeev mentioned. So, and I think you all know it's not easy to be a doctor. Not everyone can be one, especially a surgeon like Tata. But by being a phenomenal doctor and being a responsible father, he really instilled in his kids and his grandkids the sense of purpose and diligence and hard work. In fact, my dad would often tell me and Sanjeev that he wouldn't be the successful and responsible man he is today if Tata wasn't so hard on him. So that's kind of why he even said, like, if I'm ever hard on you and Sanjeev, it's because I want to help you guys succeed just as Tata did for me. And he was right. It worked. Tata's example and his teachings really worked. Without it, the three of us all of us wouldn't have been the responsible people we are today. My dad would not have had a great career in business. Sanjeev would not have been a lawyer. And just 3 months ago, I would not have graduated from pharmacy school and earned and become a pharmacist, earned my PharmD. And like Sanjeev was saying, one of the best memories was the family tree. And just like he said, it is, if people are our age, we really don't, that's one of the last things we want to do. But after seeing how passionate it made him, I think it made us passionate. It made us passionate about the task. So we really enjoyed that. Just like my dad said, we really enjoyed listening to him lecture us on each member of the family. And it was kind of the vice versa thing kind of happened too. Just 2 years ago, I brought Sanjeev, my dad, and Tata to this Back to the Future musical. It's my favorite movie, and it was touring in Charlotte. And a few days before, I think Tata actually slipped on his in the living room and hurt himself. And I think he was actually almost about to just take it easy and stay at home and miss the musical. But the day before, I was showing him pictures of me from Halloween in my Marty McFly costume. And I think he was so he was so happy to see how passionate the movie made me that he really pushed himself to come to the musical, in his walker. And then once we got there, we got him in a wheelchair. He was so excited. But those are some great memories. But I think as has been mentioned earlier today, I think the best memory that most of us have of him is him playing or watching tennis. And I think those of you who are tennis fans know this. Like, we actually just witnessed the golden era where, in a remarkable coincidence, the three greatest players of all time were playing in Roger Federer and Rafa Nadal and Novak Djokovic. And but what I think is also an insane coincidence is they were playing, the three of them were playing like during the brief time period in which me and Tata were both tennis fans. So it really helped us bond. Some of my best memories are of watching tennis with Tata. Like he wouldn't even before the Grand Slam finals, he wouldn't even bother setting an alarm because he would just say, "Oh, Prashant, can you wake me up before the final? Because I know you're going to be up." And if he wasn't home with us, we would often call each other the day after to discuss the matches. So it's going to be really hard to watch tennis without Tata. But one thing I can be grateful for is that two of the big three, Roger and Rafa, are already retired, and the third one, Novak, is pretty much on his way out, turning 40. But so Tata, I promise I'll continue to watch tennis for you. I'll continue to use the lessons you taught us to succeed, not only as a professional, as a pharmacist, but also as a person. And I promise to pass on those teachings to my children and grandchildren in the future. Thank you very much for everything.
Okay, I just wanted to read something that I wrote. I spent a lot of time with Tata because he would come for months at a time, alternating with my other grandparents. So especially when we were in our Waltham house, he spent a lot of time there. Okay. My earliest memories of Sarma Tata were shaped by the lessons he taught me, the importance of discipline through our daily morning prayers, of education from the endless books he would read to me, and the enjoyment of hobbies such as his love of rummy and tennis, all of which helped create a well-balanced life, though my favorite memories are of him and I sneaking out before dinner to get ice cream at the dairy joint near our house, and our flavor of choice usually being orange and vanilla twist in a cone, because he knew that the real secret to a well-balanced life is dessert. He also used to eat my Halloween candy. Every phone call or conversation ended with his special farewell, which was study hard and do well. It wasn't bye, it was study hard and do well. I've never forgotten this core value. Every time I feel like giving up or burning out, I can hear his voice in my head encouraging me to persevere. He always wanted to know and understand as much about the world as he could, and I think that rubbed off on me. And it's thanks to his sacrifices and hard work that I have the opportunities to explore and learn today. So when I saw him for the last time, it was really difficult for him to communicate, but he used his whiteboard to convey some last pieces of advice for Roshan and me. And mine was, continue what you're doing now. And Roshan's was, listen to your sister. It's with those words I felt that I made him proud, and I will continue to carry his lessons of discipline and education and family wherever I go.
So other people before me have also said Tata has a major impact on all of his grandkids, and there's no words for it, whether it's like to continue tennis or study hard, always encouraging to be my best. Looking back on it, I have a distinct memory of Tata. When I was younger in elementary school, reading was a hassle. No one could get me to read. Where it was to a point where Tata decided he would pay me $10 every time I read a book. At the time, I thought this wouldn't help me because I still have to read, and that was the challenge. But looking back on it, this was just a teaching moment as he tried to get me to build endurance and discipline. Along with that, he taught us that good things can come with rewards, and in hard times, if you push through, you can be rewarded. As an athlete, a student, and a son, Tata's made me realize that discipline is a powerful virtue that I should carry in my life. Now I'm striving to be a person that he would have been proud of and a strong member of the tennis team.
Okay. We're going to have the priest come on out, and they're going to perform the ceremony here. Please stay around for that. And then I'll give you more directions after that's over. Okay? Just be patient.
अथ पञ्चदशोऽध्यायः श्रीभगवानुवाच ऊर्ध्वमूलमधः शाखम् अश्वत्थम् प्राहुरव्ययम् छन्दांसि यस्य पर्णानि यस्तं वेद स वेदवित् अधश्चोर्ध्वं प्रसृतास्तस्य शाखाः गुणप्रवृद्धा विषयप्रवालाः अधश्च मूलान्यनुसन्ततानि कर्मानुबन्धीनि मनुष्यलोके न रूपमस्येह ततोपलभ्यते नान्तो न चादिर्न च सम्प्रतिष्ठा अश्वत्थमेनं सुविरूढमूलम् असङ्गशस्त्रेण दृढेन चित्वा ततः पदं तत्परिमार्गितव्यम् यस्मिन् गता न निवर्तन्ति भूयः तमेव चाद्यं पुरुषं प्रपद्ये यतः प्रवृत्तिः प्रसृता पुराणी निर्मानमोहाजितसङ्गदोषाः अध्यात्मनित्या विनिवृत्तकामाः द्वन्द्वैर्विमुक्ता सुखदुःखसञ्ज्ञैः गच्छन्त्यमूढाः पदमव्ययं तत् न तद्भासयते सूर्यः न शशाङ्को न पावकः यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम ममैवांशो जीवलोके जीवभूतः सनातनः मनः षष्ठानीन्द्रियाणि प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति शरीरं यदवाप्नोति यच्चाप्युत्क्रामतीश्वरः गृहीत्वैतानि संयाति वायुर्गन्धानि वाशयात् श्रोत्रं चक्षुस्पर्शनं च रसनं घ्राणमेव च अधिष्ठाय मनश्चायं विषयान् उपसेवते उत्क्रामन्तं स्थितं वापि भुञ्जानं वा गुणान्वितम् विमूढानानुपश्यन्ति पश्यन्ति ज्ञानचक्षुषः यतन्तो योगिनश्चैनं पश्यन्त्यात्मन्यवस्थितम् यतन्तोऽप्यकृतात्मानः नैनं पश्यन्त्यचेतसः यदादित्यगतं तेजः जगद्भासयतेऽखिलम् यच्चन्द्रमसि यच्चाग्नौ तत्तेजो विद्धि मामकम् गामाविश्य च भूतानि धारयाम्यहमोजसा पुष्णामि चौषधीः सर्वाः सोमो भूत्वा रसात्मकः अहं वैश्वानरो भूत्वा
शिवाय स्वाहा नारायणाय स्वाहा माधवाय स्वाहा गोविंदाय नमः sit down yes गोविंदाय नमः विष्णु मधुसूदन त्रिविक्रमा वामन श्रीधर ऋषिकेश पद्मनाभ दामोदर शंकर कृष्ण वासुदेव प्रद्युम्न निरुद्ध पुरुषोत्तमादौ क्षजानाथ धर्माच्युता जनार्दन उपेन्द्र हरे श्री कृष्णाय नमः अशेषे ये परिषद भवत पादमूले मया समर्पिता इमां सौवर्णी दक्षिणा यत्किंचित् दक्षिणा यथोक्त दक्षिणा इव स्वीकृत्य मम पितुः उद्दिश्य शरीर शुद्ध्यर्थ स्वस्ति पुण्याः वाचन आरंभ कर्म कर्तुं योग्यता सिद्धिं अनुगृहाण देवी गायत्री छंदः प्राणायामी नियोगः ओम भूः ओम भुवः ओम सुवः ओम महः ओम जनः सुखं सत्यं तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं ओम आपो ज्योतिषं भूर्भुवस्सुवः ओम 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 मम उपात्त समस्त दुरित क्षयद्वार परमेश्वर नारायण प्रीत्यर्थम अद्य पूर्वोक्त एवं गुण सकल विशेषेण विशिष्टायां वर्तमानायां सौर चांद्रमानाभ्यां स्वस्ति श्री पराभव नाम संवत्सरे दक्षिणायने वर्ष ऋतु श्रावण मासे शुद्ध तृतीयायां तिथौ चतुर्थ्यां तिथौ स्थिरवासर उत्तर फल्गुनी नक्षत्र युक्तायां विष्णु योग विष्णुकर्ण एवं गुण विशेषेण विशिष्टायां वर्तमानायां चतुर्थ्यां तिथौ परमेश्वर प्रीत्यर्थं मम पितुः शरीर शुद्ध्यर्थ स्वस्ति पुण्याः वाचनं करिष्ये तत्काले कृच्छ्रादानं करिष्ये हिरण्यगर्भ गर्भस्थं हेमबीजं विभावसोः अनंत पुण्यफलकम् अतः शान्तिं प्रयच्छ मे मम पितुः उद्दिश्य शरीर शुद्ध्यर्थ पुण्याः वाचन आरंभकाले यथाशक्ति इदं हिरण्यं ब्राह्मणाय संप्रदते ओम भूर्भुवस्वः भुवादं विश्वा भूतान्यवः प्रणवाप विश्वापो नमो मुतमा सुंदरापो नडापः सुंदरापचंदगिष्यापो ज्योतिगिष्यापो जुगुष्यापः सत्यमाप सर्वा देवता आपः भूर्भुवस्वः आपः ओम ओम इमं मे वनस्सु देव मध्याजमृय त्वां पुष्याजिके त्वायाम ब्रह्मणा वन्दमान सदा सहस्तेजमानो हविद्भिः अहेन मानो वर्णेह भवद्युर्ढिमं समानायुप्रमोषीः अस्मिन् कुम्भे सकलतीर्थाधिपतिं वरुणं ध्यायामि वरुणम् आवाहयामि वरुणाय नमः आसनं समर्पयामि आद्यं समर्पयामि अर्घ्यं समर्पयामि आचमनीयं समर्पयामि स्मृपयामि आचमनीयं समर्पयामि वरुणाय नमः वस्त्रोत्तरयज्ञोपवीदाभरणादि अक्षतान् समर्पयामि वरुणाय नमः दिव्यपरिमलगन्धान् धारयामि गन्धस्योपरि अक्षतान् समर्पयामि गन्धस्योपरि तुलसीदलानि समर्पयामि गन्धस्योपरि पुष्पाणि समर्पयामि वरुणाय नमः समस्तमङ्गलदेवताय नमः सर्वोपचारपूजाः समर्पयामि देवसवितः प्रसुवा सत्यं त्वत्ते न प्रभुञ्जामि अमृतं भवतु अमृत उपस्तरणमसि वरुणाय नमः कदलीफलानि नैवेद्यं निवेदयामि आचमनं समर्पयामि सर्वोपचारपूजाः समर्पयामि पुण्याः वाचन जपकर्मणि ब्राह्मणेभ्यो नमो नमः पुण्याः वाचन जप कर्म कुरुध्वं वयं कुर्मः भवद्भिः अनुज्ञातः पुण्याहं वाचयिष्ये वाचितां पुण्याहं भवन्तो ब्रह्मन्तो शुद्धिकर्मणे शरीर शुद्धिकर्मणे स्वस्ति भवन्तो ब्रह्मन्तो कर्मणे स्वस्ति कर्मणः रिद्धिं भवन्तो ब्रह्मन्तो कर्मविदान्ति समृद्धिः पुण्याहं समृद्धिः शुभं कर्म प्रजापतिः प्रियतां प्रियतां भगवान् प्रजापतिः शान्तिरस्तु तुष्टिरस्तु रिद्धिरस्तु विघ्नमस्तु आयुष्यमस्तु आरोग्यमस्तु धनधान्य समृद्धिरस्तु गो ब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभं वदो ईशान्यां विगतदेशे अरिष्टनिरशनमस्तु आग्नेयां यत्पापं तते प्रतिगतमस्तु सर्वशोभनमस्तु सर्वाः सम्पतः सन्तु ओम विग्रहविनयकारणं विष्णोरस्वस्य भाजनः सर्भिनं खागरत्मणायं विदाडते अभुक्तामि भुक्तामि उज्जतधातन नेरणाशक्तसे व्यवस्थितमस्तस्य भाजदेनः सुसदीर मादरः तस्मारङ्गमां वैशिक्ष्यानिमसा आपो जनेसा जनः यज्ञवर्णा अस्त्रियपावकायां जातस्य भूयासुन्दरः अग्निजयदेवरोव आत्मनाभिषिक्तश्वनाभवन्तु या साम्राजावनो यामध्ये सत्यानदे अवसञ्जनानां मदत्यापावकातानाभिषिक्तश्वनाभवन्तु यासां देवान्मन्दिभक्त्यान्दर्जे भूता भवन्ति यां प्रातानाभिषिक्तश्वनाभवन्तु शिवेन मा चतुषा पश्यता पश्यया तनुभवत्कृतिमे सर्वागो अग्नेकं तुतो भवे भवजपत्यब्रह्मो जन्धत्ता ओमानसवर्जनः पवित्रेणजरणिः यप्पोदासपनादमा वृन्दमादेवजनाः वृन्दमनवोधिया वृन्दविश्वायवः जातवेद पवित्रवदे पवित्रेण माहिमां शुक्रमदेवदीतिदे अग्ने क्रत्वा क्रतुगुमनो यते पवित्रमञ्जते अग्नेत्रमङ्गला ब्रह्मदेवमणिमहे उभाभ्यां देवसवितः पवित्रेण शिवेन्द्र इदं ब्रह्मणिमहे वैश्वदेवी मृदेदेव्यादे यस्य भक्तैतनोक्ताः यां समाद्येजो वयद्दस्यां देवादीनां वैश्वानर रश्मिभिर्मावनादो वादप्राणेने शरोमि अभोः ध्यानापतिदेवे धाम्यभिः तदावि विज्ञेमावेदा बृहद्भिः सदद्भिः परेट्येदेवनभिः अग्नेदभ्ये पुनाहिमा येन देवापुनदा येनावो दिविङ्गदः येन दिव्यं ब्रह्मणा इदं ब्रह्मणेमहे यप्पा माणेर्भेदीयतिमसनो सर्वं सभूतं स्नाति स्वजन्मादिविस्मृणा पामानेर्य अध्येते दिविसंसो तस्मै सरस्वती जुहे क्षीरकं सत्मुदोदकं पामाने स्वतेनेः युगाय वैश्वतीः त्रिविस्मृतमृतः ब्राह्मणे समृतमिदो पापमाने तिशन्दुनः इमं लोकमदो कामान् समर्पयन्तुनः देवे समापदाः पामाने स्वतेनेः युगाय तस्तुतः त्रिविस्मृतमृतः ब्राह्मणे समृतं इदं येनैव पवित्रेण आत्मानं प्रतिष्ठाः तेन सहस्रधारेण पामान्यप्रणुत्वा प्रजापतिं पवित्रं सुदोद्यामिषड्वियं तेन ब्रह्मविदो वयं भूतं ब्रह्मप्रेमहे इन्द्रस्मिति समापनादो सोमस्तद्यावनस्मीत्याः यमोराजा प्रणोत्पादना जातवेदाको विजयन्त्यापनादो भूर्भुवस्सुवः तच्छीयोदारणेमहे गातुं विज्ञाय गातुं विज्ञपतिगे देवी स्वस्तिरत्नः स्वस्तिर्मानुडेभ्यः ओम तजिरानवेश्य सन्नात्तिपदे संजगत्पदे ओम शांति 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 ओम नमो ब्रह्मणे नमो स्तुते नमो पृथिव्यै मृतेभ्यः नमो वाचे नमो वाचस्पते नमो विष्णवे बृहदे करोमि ओम नमो ब्रह्मणे नमो स्तुते नमो पृथिव्यै मृतेभ्यः नमो वाचे नमो वाचस्पते नमो विष्णवे बृहदे करोमि ओम नमो ब्रह्मणे नमो स्तुते नमो पृथिव्यै नमो औषधेभ्यः नमो वाचे नमो वाचस्पते नमो विष्णवे बृहदे करोमि वरुणाय नमः अस्कराराधनैः सुवर्चितम् ओम तत्त्वायां ब्रह्मण आनन्दमान सदा तेजमान हविर्भिः अहेयमानवर्णः भोज्यं समानाय प्रमोषीः अस्मात् भादवर्णमिथात्तानं प्रतिष्ठापयामि देवी गायत्री संग प्राणायाम योगः ओम 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 शिवः ओम मम उपात्त समस्त दुर्गक्षेत्र श्री परमेश्वर नारायण प्रीत्यर्थम अति पूर्वोक्त एवं गुण सकल विशेष निश्चितायाम् अस्यां वर्तमानायां चतुर्थ्यां तिथौ नारायण परमेश्वर प्रीत्यर्थम काशीऋषि गोत्रस्य शर्मणः मम पितुः उद्दिश्य जन्म अभ्यासात् जन्म प्रभृति एतक्षण पर्यन्तं बाल्ये वयसे कौमारे यौवने वार्धके च जागृत स्वप्न सुषुप्ति अवस्थासु मनोवाक्काय कर्मेन्द्रिय ज्ञानेन्द्रिय व्यापारैः वाक्पाणि पाद वायुपस्थ कर्मेन्द्रिय ज्ञानेन्द्रिय व्यापारैः संभावितानां समस्त पाप क्षयार्थम् आचार्य मुखेन गंगा स्नानं कारयिष्ये मम पितुः आचार्य मुखेन गंगा स्नानं कारयिष्ये तत्काले त्रिच्छ्रादानं करिष्ये ओम हिरण्यगर्भगर्भस्थं हेमबीजं विभावसो वर्णतपनिवर्तम् अतः शान्तिं प्रयच्छ मे काशीऋषि गोत्रस्य त्र्यम्बकेश्वर नामधेयस्य मम पितुः उद्दिश्य शरीरशुद्ध्यर्थं गंगा स्नान आरंभकाले तिथिवार नक्षत्र लग्न योग करणैः संसूचितः यो दोष समजनि तद्दोष परिहारार्थं यथाशक्ति इदं हिरण्यं ब्राह्मणाय संप्रदते नमः नमः ओम आशिष्यशानौ शभो नियुग्मो गणः शोभनः चर्षणीनां संक्रन्दनो निमिषेकवीरस्य सकंसेन अधिगत्साकमिन्द्रः संक्रन्तनेनानिविषेण जिष्णुना युक्तारेण दुच्चवनेन दृष्णा तदिन्द्रेण त्वं रैषुभक्तेन कृष्णा शैषुभक्तैः सनि सङ्गिभिर्वसी सद्गस्रष्टा स इद इन्द्रो गणेन सर्वं सृष्टत्व बोधार्धाप्रतीताभिरस्ता बृहस्पति प्रतिदीर्घेन रक्षोः मित्रागम् अबभातमानः प्रभञ्जन्स्येन अप्रणो विधाचिकस्माकमेद्भितार्थाना गोत्रविदं गोविदं वज्रभागण्डिकं तमोन्दमोजसा इमकं सजाधानिवेद्यमन्त्रकं सखायो नसकं रबध्वं बलविज्ञायस्थवीरपरिवीरसहस्वात् बाली bottom to top. बलविज्ञायस्तविरपरिवीरसकस्वान् वाजी सगमानुग्रह अभिवीरो अभिसत्वादो अजादैत्रमिन्द्रगमादिप्यलोभिरे अभिगोत्राणि सदागमानो दाजो वीरः सतमन्युरिन्द्रः द्विच्यवनप्रदनाशाढ्यो अस्माकं सेनापतिप्रियत्सु इन्द्र आसां नेता बृहस्पतिर्ना एतप्रे सोमः देवसेनानां बिञ्जिदीनां निगमदीनां मरुतो इन्द्रपुरे इन्द्रस्य वृष्णोवर्णस्याज्ञादित्यानां मरुतागं सर्द उग्रं महामनसां गणशिवानां कोशो देवानां जगदामस्तात् अस्माकमिन्द्रस्मृते द्विषे अस्माकय्यासहस्ताजयन्तु अस्माकं वीरा उत्तरे भं तस्मान् देवावदाहवेषु उद्भर्षेमगमन्यस्तनामामग्रे पुत्रुद्रहन्वाजिनां वाजिनान्यद्रतानां जगदामे दुघोषः भूर्भुवस्सुवो भूर्भुवस्सुवो भूर्भुवस्सुवः शिव 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 गोविंद गोविंद this going around sisters here sisters yeah daughter-in-laws small piece I can see. Just do some deep from the people saying the God made. Relation close. On the four close relation, small close relation. The small piece. Don't take it out. Don't take it out. They are put too much. No, that's not. Do think. Just give him to drink. Suppose last evening we are giving to him. He asked me some water. You could go around, just go down to him. All the youngsters, they can take the blessing from him. Yeah, go there. Kneel down to Namaskar. Yes, sir. His name. No. Srinivas. All the relations. The small policy, the they can keep up. Close relation. Over to the follow. Close relation. Devi Gayatri Sundar Pranayami Nepah Udhu. श्री परमेश्वर नारायण प्रीत्यर्थम अद्य पूर्वोक्ते मंगल विशेष विशिष्टायां वर्तमानायां चतुर्थ्यां तिथौ पश्चिमस्य गोत्रस्य नामधेयस्य मम पितुः उद्दिश्य जन्म अभ्यासाद जन्म प्रवृत्ति एतक्षण पर्यन्तं बाल्ये वयसे कौमारे यौवने वार्धके च जागृत स्वप्न सुषुप्ति अवस्थासु मनोवाक्काय कर्मेन्द्रिय ज्ञानेन्द्रिय व्यापारैः संभावितानां समस्त पापक्षयार्थं यथाशक्ति कर्णमंत्र पठनं करिष्ये तत्काले कृच्छ्रादानं करिष्ये हिरण्यगर्भगर्भस्थं हेमबीजं विभावसोः अनन्तपुण्यवर्तमतः शान्तिं प्रयच्छ मे काश्यपशिगोत्रस्य त्र्यम्बकेश्वरनामधेयस्य मम पितुः उद्दिश्य मरणकाले सुख उत्क्रमण सिद्ध्यर्थं कर्णमन्त्र पठनकाले आरम्भकाले तिथिवार नक्षत्र लग्नयोग करणैः संसूचितः यो दोषः समजनि तद्दोष परिहारार्थं यथाशक्ति इदं हिरण्यं ब्राह्मणाय समर्पयामि। मम उपात्त समस्त दुरित क्षेत्र श्री परमेश्वर प्रीत्यर्थम अद्य पूर्वोक्त देवं गुण विशेषेण विशिष्टायां वर्तमानायां चतुर्थ्यां तिथौ श्री गोत्रस्य त्र्यंबकेश्वर शर्मणः मम पितुः उद्दिश्य मरणकाले सुख उत्क्रमण सिद्ध्यर्थं दशदान पंचदान षोडशदान मनस उत्तिष्ठ दानानि करिष्ये मरणकाले सुख उत्क्रमण सिद्ध्यर्थं यथाशक्ति दानानि करिष्ये तत्काले त्रिच्छ्रादानं करिष्ये। ओम हिरण्यगर्भगर्भस्थं हेमबीजं विभावसोः अनन्तपुण्यफलदम् अतः शान्तिं प्रयच्छमे। Take the right hand out, left hand in. कश्यपस्य गोत्रस्य त्र्यंबकेश्वर शर्मणः मम पितुः उद्दिश्य मरणकाले सुख उत्क्रमण सिद्ध्यर्थं यथाशक्ति षोडश दान आरंभकाले तिथिवार नक्षत्र लग्न योग करणैः संसूचितः यो दोषः समजनि तद्दोष परिहारार्थं यथाशक्ति इदं हिरण्यं ब्राह्मणाय संप्रदते। नमः हिरण्यगर्भस्थं हेमबीजं विभावसोः अनंत पुण्यफलतम् अतः शान्तिं प्रयच्छते। तस्य गोत्रस्य त्र्यंबकेश्वर शर्मणः मम पितुः उद्दिश्य मरणकाले सुख उत्क्रमण सिद्ध्यर्थं दशदान पंचदान मनस उत्तिष्ठ दान प्रतिनिधि यत्किंचित् इदं हिरण्यं ब्राह्मणाय संप्रदते। नमः देवी गायत्री छंदः प्राणायामी नियोगः ओम भूः ओम भुवः ओम सुवः ओम महः जनः ओम स्वः ओम सत्यम् ओम मम उपास्य समस्त दुरित क्षेत्र श्री परमेश्वर नारायण प्रीत्यर्थम् अद्य पूर्वोक्त एवं गुण विशेषेण विशिष्टायां वर्तमानायां चतुर्थ्यां तिथौ तस्य गोत्रस्य कस्यचित् त्र्यम्बकेश्वर शर्मणः मम पितुः मरणकाले सुख उत्क्रमण सिद्ध्यर्थं प्रेत अग्निसन्धानं करिष्ये। मम पितुः संस्कार सिद्ध्यर्थं प्रेत अग्निसन्धानं करिष्ये। पैतृवेदिक विधिना संस्कारार्थं प्रेत अग्निसन्धानं करिष्ये। तत्काले कृच्छ्रादानं करिष्ये। हिरण्यगर्भगं दत्तं मह्यं बीजं विधावतो अनन्तं निवृतं तस्यामि प्रियच्छमे। वैद्यमेधिक विधिना संस्कारार्थं प्रेत अग्निसन्धान आरम्भकाले तिथिवार नक्षत्र लग्न योग करणैः संसूचितः यो दोषः समजनि तद्दोष परिहारार्थं यथाशक्ति हिरण्यं ब्राह्मणाय संप्रदते। नमः नमः। Twelve times. केशव नारायण माधव गोविंद विष्णु मधुसूदन त्रिविक्रम वामन श्रीधर ऋषिकेश पद्मनाभ दामोदर। ओम भूर्भुवस्सुवः स्वाहा। प्रजापतये इदन्न मम संकर्षण वासुदेव प्रद्युम्न अनिरुद्ध पुरुषोत्तम अधोक्षज नारसिंह अच्युत जनार्दन उपेन्द्र हरये श्रीकृष्णाय नमः। ओम भूर्भुवस्सुवः स्वाहा। प्रजापतये इदन्न एकं द्वे त्रीणि चत्वारि पञ्च षट् सप्त अष्ट नव दश एकादश द्वादश। अनाज्ञातं निराज्ञातं यज्ञस्य किञ्चिदेकं अग्ने ततस्मृद्वाप्तु स्वाहा। अग्ने इदन्नमः। एकं द्वे त्रीणि चत्वारि पञ्च षट् सप्त अष्ट नव दश एकादश द्वादश। पुरुषमिदो यज्ञो यज्ञं पुरुषमिदा अग्ने तदस्य कल्पयतं यथा तत् स्वाहा। अग्ने इदन्नमः। एकं द्वे त्रीणि चत्वारि पञ्च षट् सप्त अष्ट नव दश एकादश द्वादश। ओम यत्पा गत्रादिर्मणसादेन क्षाणा यज्ञस्य मन्मते अमृतार्थ अग्निस्तत्तोदाप्तु जान्ये चित्तो देवता यस्वाहा। अग्ने दन्नमः। सर्व प्रायश्चित्त आहुतिं पूष्यामि। ओम भूर्भुवस्सुवः स्वाहा। प्रजापतये इदन्नमः। देवसवितः प्रासावीः प्रवाराधनेः स्वच्छिदम् अन्तर्हीनं क्रियाहीनं भक्तिहीनम् उदासनायतु हृदान्तमया देवया परिपूर्णतस्य प्रायश्चित्तानि शेषाय कर्मात्मनः श्रीकृष्णानुस्मृत्य वस्त्रं कर्दीन नागात् प्राणः अपानाभ्यां परम् आहरन्ति Remedy.
देहमाश्रितः प्राणापानसमायुक्तः पचाम्यन्नं चतुर्विधम् सर्वस्य चाहं हृदि सन्निविष्टः मत्तस्मृतिर्ज्ञानमपोहनं च वेदैश्च सर्वैः अहमेव वेद्यः वेदान्तकृत् वेदविदेव चाहम् द्वाविमौ पुरुषौ लोके क्षरश्चाक्षर एव च क्षरः सर्वाणि भूतानि कूटस्थोऽक्षर उच्यते उत्तमः पुरुषस्त्वन्यः परमात्मेत्युदाहृतः यो लोकत्रयमाविश्य बिभर्त्यव्यय ईश्वरः यस्माक्षरमतीतोऽहम् अक्षरादपि चोत्तमः अतोऽस्मि लोके वेदे
The family only will be going into the crematorium and the rest of the people can stay here. Thank you.
यो मामेवमसम्मूढः जानाति पुरुषोत्तमम् स सर्वविद्भजति माम् सर्वभावेन भारत इति गुह्यतमं शास्त्रम् इदमुक्तं मया नघ एतद्बुद्धि